Hi guys, so welcome to my YouTube channel. So today this is the look that I have filmed for you. It's sort of like a sort of warm toned peachy cut crease type of a look. It's definitely a pretty glam look because you have the false lashes and the glitter and all of that, but I really love how it turned out, and I think this is a beautiful look for doing like dinner or a party or something like that. So yeah, if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Okay, so I have already done my brows as well as primed my eyes. So I'm just going to put on some primer on my face before I actually move on to doing eyeshadow. So I'm going to take a little bit of this Professional, this is the, what is this called? The Pearl Primer, so it's the one that has like, I think a little bit of a pink tint to it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and then use that in the center of my face in the areas where I sort of want to fill in any pores. And then for the rest of my face, I'm just going to take this Guerlain Lore Primer, and I'm just going to put one pump or two pumps of that on a Ofra sponge, and I'm just going to put that all over the face. Okay, so while that primer is sort of settling in, I will zoom you in to do the eyes. Okay, so for the eyes, I'm mostly going to use this Viseart Neutral Matte Palette. So this is a palette that has 12 matte shades in it. I just got this today, but I did use this sort of like flesh bone color right here to set down my lids. So I'm just going to play around with this guy. So I'm just going to start off with a tapered blending brush from Sigma. This is an E40. And I'm going to go in, I think, with this shade right here. It's sort of like a peachy tone. Light mid-tone peachy color. And then I'm just going to take that all through the crease. Okay, so now I'm going to take a Sigma E38. This is again a blending brush. It's just a little bit smaller than the E40. And then I'm going to move on to this color right here. This is sort of like a slightly like neutral, warm, mid-tone brown. And I'm using this in the crease as well, but I'm just taking it a little bit lower than the color that I just added. So I think what I'm going to do is just take a little mixture of this brown and this peach that I used and sort of mix them together, and then really lightly sort of use that to blend in the two colors that are already on my lid. Okay, so now I'm going to take this Pat McGrath brush. I don't know if it has a name or anything like that. It just says Pat McGrath Labs on it. But I'm going to take this and a little bit of this orange shade right here. And then I'm going to use this a little lower in the crease again, just to add a little bit of warmth right to the actual crease. And then now I'm going to take this MAC 217 and I'm going to take this really deep brown right here, and then I will use that to really deepen up the actual crease area. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Sand and this Sonia Kashuk. It is a 110 concealer brush, and then I'm just going to use this on the eyelid to do a cut crease. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of this NYX glitter glue, and then I'm just going to apply this to the lid a little bit. And then I'm going to take this Tom Ford Cream and Powder Eye Duo in the shade Golden Peach. And then I'm going to take this pressed glitter that's on top, and I am just going to pack this all over the eyelid where I just added the glitter glue. So I have a, I think this is a concealer brush from Kat Von D. So I'm just going to press that glitter right into the area that I applied the glitter glue. Okay, so now I'm gonna line my lash line using the Milani Stay Put Matte Liquid Liner. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to repeat it onto the other eye as well as put mascara and false lashes on. So the false lashes I'm using are the Ardell 113 Wispies. So these are really, really long and they are longer on the outer edge and they sort of taper inwards. So I'm just going to do that really quick off camera and then I will be back to do the rest of my face. Okay, so I've obviously put my falsies on. I forgot to highlight my brow bone, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to use the lightest sort of bone shade in here, and I'm just going to take it on this little smudger brush by Sigma, and I'm going to put that on the brow bone. Okay, so before I actually finish my eyes off, I'm going to do the rest of my face makeup. So I'm going to use a combination of foundations. I'm going to use this Jouer Luminizing Moisture Skin Tint in the shade Golden, and then this Hourglass foundation stick in the shade Nude. So I'm just going to start off by applying the Hourglass foundation just so I can get a little bit more coverage in certain areas. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of the Jouer skin tint and I'm just going to put it straight onto the Beauty Blender. And I'm just going to take about like a pump's worth and then I'm going to start blending that all over the skin. So I feel like in the monitor that Hourglass foundation is looking like a lot more yellow than what my undertone is naturally, but I'm just going to move on to concealer and hopefully that will sort of like correct it a little bit. So I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape again, but I'm going to do a mixture of light sand and light neutral. Okay, so to set my under eyes, I'm going to take this Kat Von D Lock-It Brightening Powder in the shade Petal. This has like a nice peachy tone to it, so hopefully it will color correct how yellow I'm looking right now, perhaps. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on a Real Technique setting brush, and I'm just going to set the under eyes for now. And then I'm actually going to go in with a cream bronzer. This is the Chanel Soleil de Tan. I haven't used this in a really long time, but I feel like just using a cream bronzer today. So I'm taking some of that on a Real Techniques sculpting brush, and I'm just going to take the excess off on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to start bronzing with that. So I'm going to take that on. Oh, I did not blend that concealer there. So I'm just going to take that on the outer edge of the forehead. And I'm going to take a little bit more and use that on the sort of like contour area slash cheeks a little bit. And then I'm also going to take a little bit right here, like sort of on the outer edge of my jawline and this really light part of my neck, sort of underneath where my ear is. So I'm almost sculpting the outer edge of my jawline a little bit, but I'm also sort of just matching that color up on that light part of my neck as well, just so I'm not so bronzed up here and then my neck is like very, very pale. So with the same brush, I'm going to take a little teeny bit of this contour color in this Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate palette, and I'm just going to take the very tip of the brush right here and then use that just to really lightly contour as well. So I'm just applying a little bit of the product first and then just sort of stippling it out. And then I'm just going to use the other end of the brush and then really lightly just make sure that that's blended nicely. I'm just going to take a little bit again on the end of this brush, and then I'm really lightly just going to cream contour the nose as well. Okay, so now that I have all the cream products on, I'm just going to set my face lightly using this Nars translucent crystal powder and a, I don't know, this is like a Real Techniques brush type of a powder brush. So I'm just going to take that and set my face everywhere basically, but mostly in the center of the face. Okay, so with the same brush that I used to set my face, I'm just going to use this to do my blush as well. So I'm taking the Clinique Cheek Pop in the shade Nude Pop. So this is like sort of a beigey nude, but it does have a nice warmth to it, so it will sort of go nicely with the eyes. So I'm just going to take a bit of that, and then I am going to blush up my cheeks. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to highlight. I'm going to take this Nars, what is this, the Banc du Sable, maybe, highlighting palette, and I am actually going to wet my brush first before I use it. So I'm going to take this Wet n Wild highlighting brush, and then I'm going to spray it with a little bit of Fix Plus. This is the coconut scented one. I haven't used any of these yet, but I just received it in the mail the other day, so I wanted to try it out. So I'm just going to spray this before I highlight. Ooh, that smells so good. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so I am going to take the shade in the middle here, and then I am going to highlight with that. So I'm just going to take a little bit more and then use that on the Cupid's bow. So I have this little mini size of the Coconut Fix Plus, so I'm just going to spray this all over the face to sort of take down the powders. Ooh, the coconut one smells so good. I'm so excited. I got the little MAC like trio set that has the mini rose, mini lavender, and then the mini coconut one that I just used. And it smells amazing. I'm excited to use the other ones. I think MAC also just came out with the full-size scented ones as like a permanent item now, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so now to move on to finishing off my eyes. So I am first going to take this Pat McGrath brush again, and then I am going to take this peachy shade that I first initially used on my crease as a transition shade, and I'm just going to take that all over the lower lash line. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this orange color, the deeper orange right here, and then I'm going to use that as well. And then lastly, I'm just going to take this little Sigma, what is this, the E36 blending brush, and then I'm going to take this deepest brown right here and then use that just on the outer edge of my lower lash line. Okay, so for an inner corner highlight, I'm going to use this Natasha Denona. This is the 5-pan eyeshadow palette in number 4, and I'm going to take this brightest white right here, which I believe is called Aura, and then I'm just going to take that on a pencil brush by Sigma, and then use that on my inner corners. Okay, so for my waterline, I'm going to take this Colourpop pencil in the shade Honeydude. It's just a matte nude color. And then I'm just going to take this little sample size of the Clinique High Impact Mascara, and then I will put mascara on my bottom lashes, and then I will move on to lips. So to move on to the lips, I am first going to line my lips using this Milani lip liner in the shade 04 Natural. Okay, so for lipstick, I'm going to start off with this Pat McGrath Luxetrance lipstick. This is a sort of like mid-tone, like peachy nude color in the shade Labeija 400, and I'm just going to start off with this. And then I wanted to use MAC's Cream Cup over top just to lighten it up a little bit, because I wanted the lips to be like a little bit more nude than that color is. Or no, this is not Cream Cup, this is Creme de Nude, sorry. Alright, so here is the finished look with the lips and everything on. I really, really love how this turned out. Like, it's a pretty glam look, but you're not using super bright colors. You're just using like mostly neutral, sort of warm colors on the lips and the eyes. So it's still a pretty sort of wearable glam type of look, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye!